Fury and Johnson.
The gap comfortable enough so that he can take his time in the traffic. After all, when you're lapping a car in these wet conditions, perhaps they might not see him arrive with the rain and move over, or whatever can happen. So Fury has to be very careful lapping these cars.
A big crowd has turned out at Lakeside for the FM 104 round of the Australian Touring Car Title today, mainly brought by that radio station, in fact, who have really been promoting this event this weekend. And you just wouldn't expect to see this many people at such a wet meeting, except for two factors. It's been well promoted, and Dick Johnson is racing in front of his hometown crowd
to win his third Touring Car Championship.
And for that, the Queenslanders would step over a whole nest of cane toads.
The Fury's not resting there. He's really pressing on.
Two slower cars between Fury and Johnson, slowing him down through the loop, in fact, and he drops to 4.68 seconds behind George Fury. There's now not only rain but high winds sweep in across the Lakeside circuit and almost blow our commentary position away.
Well, Johnson, of course, wants to finish first of all, and secondly wants to win. So to finish, he has to be very cautious when he's passing these lap cars, because one off could see him right out of the race.
There's Barry Lawrence in fourth position, dicing with Warren Cullen. Cullen coming down the inside.
Not the place to pass, it's there.
Lawrence has got the gate on him, but Cullen, as they come down the straight, is side by side with him as they come down past the start-finish line, and may take over the lead as they go through the loop. Lawrence has to back off, and Cullen takes it back over. Cullen in the Kmart car, lying in fourth position in the Australian Touring Car Title on 62 points.
He's been consistent this year, and his professional approach to his motor racing has helped him have consistent high places.
Well, he's had 3 fifths, a 6th and a 12th, in fact, in the Australian Touring Car Title to date. And theoretically will be one of the few drivers who actually have to drop around by the seventh round of the series at Adelaide in 2 weeks' time. Drivers contest 7 rounds, but in fact they're counted only in their top 6, so they get to drop a mistake. Dick Johnson hasn't had a mistake yet. He's finished high in every round. George Fury has had far too many mechanical errors. You can't blame any of them on the driver.
I think Nissan have been pioneering the turbo car, and it looks like the way the future will go in motor racing will be turbos, and Nissan have been pioneering for 2 years. And good luck to them if they get their car up here in this sort of position.
This was the car that last year looked to be in the box seat for the Australian Touring Car Title, because last year it was running in the under 3 litre class and therefore picking up more points than the outright cars under the point system. This year it's been reclassified as an outright touring car and must race against Dick Johnson on a point-for-point basis. And as Fury comes up the hill, Johnson's only coming down the hill, and the gap is now really opening up. So Johnson has probably found the limits of his adhesion, or has decided that the Australian Touring Car Title really does mean something, because he is 9.4 seconds behind George Fury.
Well, I think he could see Fury in the distance and decided to really have a go, and then when he was caught up in the traffic there and started to slide around a little, I think he's backed off and used his discretion to try and finish this race in one piece.
After 25 laps, 10 remaining, the order still remains George Fury, Dick Johnson and Jim Richards. Richards is 25.6 seconds behind Johnson.
Well, in fact, the Commodores of Cullen and Lawrence are actually catching Richards.
3.16 seconds is the gap between Richards and Cullen. And that is very much the dice of the moment. There's Richards in the JPS BMW. Richards so far this year has scored a third, a fourth and a 16th 3 laps down at Oran Park after having his brake line torn off by the debris strewn up by the Alan Grice George Fury crash. And Jim delighted this morning that he'd taken pole position. First time ever that the JPS BMW has been on pole. As we watch George Fury, less than 10 laps remaining to his first Australian Touring Car Championship win in this year's series.
I think George has been using his rally driving experience to put him in good stead here today, because the racetrack has somehow resembled a forest rally road with all the water over it and all the oil too, which has made it extremely slippery.
In fact, Fury didn't get any wins last year either. He took 2 second places. Third, 3/4. And Cullen is right on the tail of Jim Richards in third position, coming up in a motorcraft loop. There they go, and Cullen now charging down the inside of Jim Richards and takes him. So the third place changes in favour of Warren Cullen. And should Cullen hold on to that third place, it'll be his highest placing yet in the Australian Touring Car title this year. And Cullen having his own little battle in the point score situation. On 62 points, he stands to take over third position in the Australian Touring Car title this year from Peter Brock. Brock racing at the Le Mans 24-hour race today will be back in time to run at the Adelaide round in 2 weeks' time. Brock currently holds 73 points in the title, and Cullen currently holds 62. A good result from Cullen today could see him hold out Peter Brock in 2 weeks' time to take third place in the title behind Dick Johnson and Peter McLeod. That'll be a good result for Cullen, who brought new sponsorship into motor racing this year with Kmart.
I think Cullen has reached the position of his pit crew are informing him that he's really a long way back from Dick Johnson. And unless Dick has a problem, I can't see that Cullen could make any inroads on Johnson. And he doesn't have anybody challenging him from behind. So I think that he really virtually has to hold station to make sure that he stays on the road.